Hello and welcome everybody. So I've actually got two cameras this week. I think you can see me over there. I guess I could switch for a second while we get things rolling here. But as you can see, we're in the mod shop. Right here I got a bunch of different water cooling components, as you can tell if you didn't read the description. Tonight we are doing frosted slash satin, whatever you want to call it, water cooling components. So as you guys may know, if you've been into water cooling at all, a lot of components, such as like your reservoir tubes, your blocks, and your tubing, all come clear. So there's this, I don't know exactly if it's a new trend. There's been some satin and frosted stuff out for a while, but some people like, just a different look, and not everything comes in a satin or frosted look, especially when it comes to tubing. I know that the options as far as frosted tubing are very limited. I believe all we carry is some Alpha Cool stuff, and it's pretty limited in sizes. So say you guys want to use an oddball size, or you just have a different size tubing than they have. This is one way to get around that, and it's pretty simple and easy. Kind of show you guys how to do that. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I've got chat up over here. Hello everybody. Nori's here and Lightning Man. Nori, congrats on that giveaway win today, the GTR 360. So if you guys haven't checked it out yet, look in the description below. You guys can see that we still have a bunch of Christmas giveaways going on. So the 12 days of Christmas are still going on, and they will be for the next few days. So get in those while you still can. What's up, Corey Gregory? How's it going, man? And Hank's in here. So I think we can probably get the show on the road, though. This is pretty simple stuff as far as modding goes, but it's kind of fun at the same time. Really the only tool you need is these abralon sanding pads. So you could just use like a regular high grit sanding paper, like 500 plus, 400 plus. These are 400, and you could even get these in higher grits if you really wanted to. However, the key to kind of doing tubing, or at least round objects especially, is that it's like a padded piece of sandpaper. So this actually really helps us make it have a frosted look, especially when it's a rounded object. With a block or something like this, you may be just fine with sandpaper. However, I did link these in the description below. You guys can get these abralon sanding pads from us if you so choose. And I think we'll probably give some away tonight for our trivia question, so just stay tuned for that. But as you might guess, it's pretty straightforward. So this is PETG tubing. This was acrylic that I just did earlier. It's all pretty much the same as far as that goes. Acrylic is a little bit harder, but it really doesn't make a difference as far as sanding it goes. So you just take your sandpaper and you literally just start sanding it. So it does take a little bit of time to get all the way around the tubing and get an even finish, because as it is a round object and this is even padded, it still does sand it in like streaks. So if you guys can see right now, it's a little bit streaky because we actually haven't sanded the entire surface all the way around. So it does take a little bit of effort, a little bit of time to actually get it all the way sanded around. You can put in a little bit of a circular motion as well at the same time to kind of cover the entire tube. But just in general, getting your hand on the pad completely and then trying to wrap it around the tube to a certain degree is really all you need to do. And you just do this for a minute or two, and pretty soon you'll have a nice satin or frosted tubing. So we'll time Nori out when it's giveaway time. Nice. But we should have this piece of tube almost done here. And I'm sure some of you may ask about tubing as far as that goes. When you are doing tubing, it's probably best to actually just start by bending your pieces and stuff. Like you see, we've got my test bench here and it already has the pieces all bent or whatever. That's probably a better time to actually go back and frost them, is once you get the piece done and you know it's all good. One, you're not wasting your time then, and two, when you actually do heat up the tubing, the frosted or satin tubing, the stuff that you sanded, it will actually get a little more clear, because heating it up actually does, in a sense, polish it to a certain degree. So you would have to go back and sand it anyways, even if you did, sand this whole entire piece of tube and then use it to do your runs. You would still have to go back and sand wherever you bent it. So as far as that goes, it's usually a better idea to sand after you bend. like I said, it just saves time too. I mean, if you screw up the bend and you wasted 10 minutes sanding your tube, you know, that's kind of sad. So next I'm just going to show you a reservoir tube. This is just an old Bits Power reservoir tube. It's just the same lines though. Um, Overall, I think it's just kind of a fun thing to do as far as a mod goes. It does give your components a lot different look. And my favorite feature of like satin or frosted, whatever you want to call it, I think I'm just going to stick to one for the rest of this stream. I'm sick of saying both. Is that light or RGB lighting or LED lighting, whatever it may be, actually shines through a polished or satin surface a lot better. It refracts, it has a lot more edges to refract off of, so you get a lot cleaner lighting. I suppose I probably should have actually gotten this block ready and like been able to plug it in, though I don't have a header for this block in particular, just to show you guys, but I think you've even seen it. Like I said, there are already some frosted components out there. This is more or less just to give you guys, you know, all the options you may want. Like my Singularity Computer's reservoirs that are on the test bench right there, they do have frosted tops and whatnot, and reservoir tops for them. However, there is no frosted tubes, so you could go through and do this. And in this short amount of time, we've almost gotten this whole tube done. It still does have some lines in it, so we'll want to keep working on it. But overall, like the larger the tube, the actually easier it is. As you can see, you can kind of wrap the whole entire pad around it and kind of just go to town. So pretty easy stuff. I see GIF potential here. I figured somebody was going to say that at some point. It's pretty bad. But I don't know what else you're supposed to do. But yeah, all you gotta do is keep polishing until you do actually get, you know, a solid, smooth finish. It really doesn't take too long as far as that goes. I'll show you guys the block next. I think I do actually want to take it apart though. I think that'll just make it easier. That way you can actually get the whole edges. As you can see, with this block, I would honestly recommend most people polish it. I don't really care for how the LEDs are facing outward, if you guys can see that. That's kind of annoying. If you were to look directly at that somehow when it's in the system, it'd be like blinding. So honestly, polishing this or frosting it is gonna make it look a lot better in my opinion, and the lighting is just gonna be way more smooth, way more even, and not so ridiculous in your eyes is what I'm betting. So I'll try to hook this up and take some pictures for you guys and post it in the group. I'll take some nice pictures of it lit up, maybe with some coolant in it and whatnot. And I have another one of these blocks so I can show you guys the two versions, basically, you know, frosted and regular. But we're going to take this bad boy apart to actually frost it. You really wouldn't have to if you just wanted to get the top, but we don't like to half-ass things around here. Just going to pull this off. So, he does have pretty hands. I'm drinking a Frosty. What's up, Willie? Hey, man, I got your glass tubing the other day. I meant to email you back, and I have looked at it. I just haven't had any time to play with anything like that in a little bit, but I hope to soon, man. So thank you for the glass tubing. Willie is working on producing glass tubing, everybody. So if you guys are looking into glass tubing options as opposed to plastic, as we have here tonight, you can check that out. Willie, do you think these abralon pads would work very well on glass tubing? I mean, I do have your samples here. Do you guys want me to try it on one of Willie's samples of glass tubing? Let's see. We do have some really short ones. Here, this is some samples of Mr. Willie V's tubing. And I actually do want to know, can you make glass tubing satin with this? I knew you guys were busy with the holidays. Yeah, it's definitely been pretty hectic around here. So I'm going to take a new pad. And this is actually glass tubing, so I think that helps. But yeah, can confirm it is glass. Oh boy. This might take some work. Glass is definitely harder than plastic. It is starting at the end. This is probably really hard to do with glass. Oh, we're actually using a sand. Oh, yeah. Sandblasting has definitely got to be the way to go. Because, like, I think if you actually wanted to do this with an abralon pad, it would take you, like, all day. It is starting a little bit at the ends, but, like, it doesn't make nearly the progress that you do on plastic. You could do it, but yeah, if Willie V's got some nice sandblasting going on, that's probably the way to go there. Just seeing it as like as an option is going to be really cool. As I said, there's really not a lot of people that do make frosted or satin tubing, so I'm glad to hear you say that, Mr. Willie. Another option for us. We all always do like options, so. We got this block almost apart here, so get all this stuff off of it. Can we get this out without breaking it? Hopefully. Oh, they actually pulled off the adhesive. These jerks. You really didn't have to use the adhesive barrel. It wasn't going to go anywhere, I promise. Oh well, I think we'll get it out. There we go. Lovely RGB strip. The rest of the stuff, so I'm not sure what it's going to do to this really cheap logo. I think I might just sand over it. If you actually cared about it, I would probably recommend like popping it off with the X-Acto knife. Like if you have an EK block, like we could do this supremacy if you guys really wanted to. These badges pop off super easy. I always have I have a bunch of them just sitting around. I don't know why. I think I got them on extra ball valves or something. And you can pop these badges off without actually damaging them, and usually the adhesive's still fine. You'd even use some super glue to re-adhere it if you want to use the same one. Or I believe we even sell new badges. So some blocks you could replace the badges. This one I'd probably take off if you were gonna do satin or frosted on it. You can see if we can pop out this barrel logo, but it's such a cheap, just plastic logo. I'm not really that worried about it. I think it might even look better frosted. I don't know exactly what kind of logo this is, but it looks like just some kind of printed plastic. See, I feel like I'm gonna break it. Ooh, I already ruined it a little bit. I think I might just remove the logo entirely. Just because it is actually not that attractive. They really did glue it down though. I will give them that. They don't like the idea of you removing their logo. Because wow. And yeah, it is ruining it. There we go. We'll get some goo gone for that later, but yeah, as removing the logo, I bent it a little bit, so it kind of like decolored the plastic. Really can't remove that logo if you guys have a barrel block. These are all of like $20 though, so I hope you're not too upset with me. However, to make it nice and frosted, take our abralon pad, and that's already getting it pretty decent. You can definitely get it smoother. So I may have Hank look into getting some higher grit ones just to see if it makes any difference. Although the 400 does a pretty dang good job just as it is. So as I said, I kind of would want to get the size as well, because that's how the RGB strip is. Although after removing it, now that I look at it, you can just turn that thing around and actually have the strip face the correct way. So I think I might do that anyways. Overall though, the frosted or satin or whatever you want to call it is gonna make the block actually light up way better. As far as like cooling colors go, all it really does is make it a little bit lighter, I guess, or more opaque. So you can kind of experiment that with whatever coolant colors you already have. Not bad. Alrighty, so I think we can probably do our trivia question. It might be a toughie, but if you guys have seen Alex Banks or BitTech, Mackie Roll, whatever you want to call him, his videos on this, or he has one video at least on this, he tells us what these sanding pads are actually for. So that's a trivia question. To what we're giving away tonight is just, I believe, what was it? 5 of these abralon sanding pads. So you guys can just get a supply of your own. Honestly, these last quite a while. So you could do whatever components you wanted to with that many. And like I said, the question tonight, you can answer in any chat. First answer is going to win. I'm checking out all the chats, so best of luck to you all. But here goes. You can't. Do we have to do a different question? Dude, I didn't even ask it yet, and you guys are already answering in chat. So we're skipping that question. Good thing I had a backup question. So the backup question is, whoever can guess what is in that box first wins. So I've teased this before, and you better not answer too. So tell me what is in that box. It is for the mod shop. I've teased it in the group and elsewhere. So tell me what's in that giant box that came today. No, it's not a PC. CNC, dude. Keefan got it. And then Zenith it. Keefan, have you won the last month? Because otherwise, I have to give it to Miss Laura. I forget if you've won. You haven't? Okay, good. Never, ever. I'm sorry, Laura. You're just going to have to take your yellow Bits Power Dragon today and run. So, I do apologize. But Mr. Keefan got it right. That is the CNC over there. And if you guys want to know what the previous trivia question was, is what are these abralon pads actually made for? It's polishing or sanding bowling balls. So if you didn't see people leak it in chat right away, that is their actual purpose. Although they work great for this, just because you know they're curved. The curved stuff really helps with having the padded pad or sanding paper, whatever you want to call it. We've almost got this block done. These little edges are kind of annoying. We're going to take some time. Like I said, I'll have to get you guys some pictures of this block all lit up, maybe with some coolant in it, compared to the stock block. And perhaps I'll do some other blocks. I do have a stack of blocks. Oops, yeah, there's too many blocks. So I could do some other ones. This one's also RGB. It's a Bits Power block, and actually, I bet it just removes that logo. That seems almost printed on like a vinyl. So we could do this one. The supremacy is always an option. I do have the velocity right there. And here's the other barrel one, which I was going to use to compare to. So that's a stock barrel one. But overall, it's really easy. You guys can literally do it to any of your components. We can go through and like I said, we got all these Singularity components, and they do offer frosted pump tops and then reservoir tops. However, if you bought one of these at first and you wanted plexi, but then you change your mind, just pick up some abralon sanding pads and boom, you can polish that right up. It's really not too difficult, and you could actually make the tube polished, as they do not offer a polished tube. There are some reservoirs out there that do come polished, but a little bit fewer and far between. As I said, some of you guys, are particular about a product. Maybe you like SC reservoirs, you like EK blocks, and they don't make anything like that comes in satin. So pretty simple and easy mod to do, guys. Really inexpensive. As long as you have a pair of hands, you can do it. So really not too bad. You guys can always hit me up if you want any help with this. I left my email in the description below, as well as all of our social media and all that good stuff. So it was a little bit quicker stream tonight, as it was a pretty simple one. I don't know if I missed any tips or tricks. It isn't too difficult to figure out. Otherwise, I'd just ignore this chat. Oh, the modern people, you need to click in their name in the chat to do the thing. Oh, okay. So I'll have to mod you in YouTube. I see. Somebody, it comes up on both, so I'll have to, yeah, we'll get to that. Thank you, Lightning Man. But we are going to be doing more streams in the coming days here. I know Christmas is quick approaching. I don't know if I'll be able to get a stream done this weekend. However, this weekend I am going to be working on getting the CNC cabinet all made up. So next week, hopefully we are streaming, the assembly of the CNC. I also have some other modding streams planned for you guys. And hopefully soon we'll be comparing the performance of all these different blocks. I can get some more blocks in too, to just do comparisons. Still running the EK Cryofuel Solid, so we'll have to touch back on that. If you guys didn't see in the group yesterday, I did a quick little stream on that, kind of updated you guys. And I have been tracking its performance and all that stuff. If you guys want a little peek at it right now before we go tonight, you guys can check it out. It really hasn't changed too much. I did another performance test today, and performance still seems to be holding up just fine. So overall, it's not too bad. Can't really tell you much. It is only, I think now we're at 1 week, or maybe it's tomorrow is 1 week. I'll have to look at my numbers. But overall, that's working out so far, and we'll have to, like I said, we'll come back to that in a week or two here and see how it's doing. Otherwise, we will be here next week for sure with the CNC, and let's see, what else was the other stream I had you guys vote, and keep voting on that poll, by the way. It should be in the announcements in our group. You guys can check that out and vote for what you want to see next. I have some pretty simple stuff. I saw somebody ask for basic modding tools, which is something I have done in the past quite a while ago though, so if you guys want me to go back and touch on like all the modding tools that I think are like essential or at least good, to start with, good place to start. We can definitely do one of those streams. That would be no problem. But like I said, just if you have any other ideas for streams, feel free to reach out on any of our platforms of social media or hit me up directly at my email, and I'd be happy to chat with you about any ideas you may have, and maybe we can get that done. Yeah, Mr. Matt Augsburger is here, which does remind me, tomorrow night is the new product stream, which we got a bunch of Bits Power stuff in. As I said, we got the yellow Bits Power dragons, so right now you guys can order all of this fancy new Bits Power stuff, and if you order more than $75 worth, you can get a nice little yellow Bits Power dragon plushie. I don't know if you guys have collected any other ones. I believe they have blue and black as well, but now there's a yellow one, so you kind of have to get that one if you've already started the collection. So order up your Bits Power stuff, and you'll probably see some of that tomorrow night on the new product stream. That should be at 6 p.m. Eastern, I believe, so don't miss out on that. Like I said, a bunch of new products to look at before we get into Christmas and the rest of the holidays here. So hope to see you guys all there. Otherwise, we've kind of got this wrapped up tonight. I want a plush. I know, guys. Go order Bits Power. We got a bunch, so they should, be around for a few days at least. But get your Bits Power orders in, and hopefully you can get one. But besides that, like I said, we kind of wrap this up tonight. It's pretty simple, but we'll be back next week with more modding material and hopefully the CNC. So see you guys all then. I hope you really enjoyed, and have a good night.